You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, pet parents. This is Michelle Fern, host of Best Bets for Pets on Pet Life Radio. Okay, this is especially for all of your feline lovers out there, for anyone with cats and multiple cats. This is a great, really cool product that you will find so helpful. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Listen, cat people, it's just litter. Until you realize those big boxes mean big smells, big messes, and big money. Switch to World's Best Cat Litter, the only litter with concentrated power. It guarantees less smells, less work, all with less litter. Try the small bag that lasts one cat 30 days and you'll realize it's just litter, unless it's World's Best Cat Litter. Find it at Target, Walmart, and at your local grocery and pet stores.
Amazing Pet Expos is coming to a city near you. Admission is always free, and your pet is welcome. Shopping, adoptions, free nail trims, discounted shots and microchipping, agility, a pet costume contest, and much more. Plus, meet the guys from Animal Planet's hit TV series Tank and Pit Boss. Online at AmazingPetExpos.com.
Bring your pets to the Pet Expo.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I'd like to introduce Steve Whelan. He's the president of Wireless Whiskers. Welcome, Steve.
Great to be here today.
Great to have you. Now, people hear Wireless Whiskers, and I'm sure think all kinds of things. Let's just give everybody out there listening, what is Wireless Whiskers?
Well, Wireless Whiskers is a new idea in pet feeding, and it allows you to address the problems that you have when there are multiple pets in a household.
Okay, now, I talked about feline lovers, but can you also, and it's called Wireless Whiskers, but can you also use it for dogs? Is it for dogs and cats, or mostly just cats?
Yes, it is for dogs as well, but it's for small dogs that are under 18 inches tall.
Okay, and a lot of people in cat households have more than one cat. That's pretty common. It keeps them occupied, and I think I'm one of the only ones that I know of that has one cat, but then the cat has 2 doggy brothers, so a lot of people do have 2 cats, so they keep them, they play with each other, keeps them occupied and all of that, and I know that feeding is always an issue. So what are some of the problems with feeding with a multiple cat household?
Yes, very often when you have more than one cat, you end up having a dominant cat that will basically take all of the food and then leave the more timid cats not getting their fair share. And so often this cat is basically a little overweight. And it's a very difficult problem to address because you can't really keep away the food from the fat cat because they are very aggressive. So what Wireless Whiskers does, it's very unique. It actually controls the access to the food by putting a wireless tagger on each pet. And then when the pet goes up to the feeder, it will recognize them individually. So if you have a cat that's eating too much, you can basically dial them down to make sure that they eat only their appropriate amount of food. And then the timid cats get the share that they should get.
Okay, now there's 3 main features of Wireless Whiskers that's different than any other kind of feeder out there on the market. What are those 3 main features?
Yes, the first one is diet control, and that allows you to individually set a diet for up to 8 pets. And so if you have a variety of cats and a couple of them overweight and a couple of them are normal size and a couple of them may be a little on the thin side, you can set them all on a separate diet and to make sure that they are receiving the right amount for their proper weight control. So that is the first area. A second area is because when a cat goes up to the feeder or a dog goes up to the feeder, it will recognize them by the wireless tag. So that gives you the ability to allow a pet to feed at the feeder or to in fact lock it out. So a lot of people have cats and dogs, and so if they want to lock out the dog, and just allow the cats to feed. And to avoid the dogs eating all the cat food, this feeder is really the only one available that can do that.
Now, I tried it with, like I said, I have a one cat household, but I have a small dog. And they eat different food. The cat's on special food. So I just thought it was really cool. So I know you can probably describe it better than me, but basically what I did was they, had a little tag. And I know that I could even set it so that it called out when Dennis is the cat. So it was like, Dennis. And so he called him over. And it's just really cool how it works. Because I guess the wireless tag emits a signal to the container holding the food and opens it up. And there's his food. And how long does it give for Dennis or, the cat or dog to finish eating?
Yeah, the way it works is when you first buy the product and you put the tags onto the cat, it basically takes a 3-day period and measures how much each pet eats individually, and then automatically, without you having to do anything, it will set their allowance. And so if a particular cat tries to eat too quickly after that, it basically will shut them down and won't allow them to eat too much. And so if you don't do anything after that point, everybody is on a diet that it would be their normal habitual diet. But if you have, like I said, a couple of cats that are overweight, then you basically use the adjust auto diet control, which will allow you to dial down the allowance and also the weight of the pet in 10% increments. So you don't have to mess around with measuring cups or grams or ounces or anything like that. The feeder does it automatically for you and gives you a very simple percentage increase or decrease in the pet's weight.
Very interesting. Now, how did the idea for Wireless Whiskers come about?
Yes, I had a pet that was a little overweight and a second pet that was of normal weight, and I had the problem that I described before of how do you keep the food away from a greedy pet, and obviously they become overweight because they're very good at getting the food. And so I basically started by looking on the internet for possible solutions, and there really wasn't any there. And there were suggestions like keeping the pets in different rooms and putting the food up high. But my overweight pet was a tiger, and in fact, it climbed the mountains to get the food. So having given it a little bit of thought, I thought, yes, we need to add some technology to this problem, and then the idea for Wireless Whiskers came about.
It's a really great idea. Now, can people also use it if they are going away for a short period of time to preset? Like, say, you have a cat, you don't want to leave the food out, and you're just going to be gone overnight. So that...
Yes, the feeder will basically take care of all the feeding needs, and a feeder will hold up to about a month's food for one pet, and then obviously half that if you use two pets. So it will actually last a long time. The only proviso I would say, I think, in all cases is that, you should not substitute proper supervision, because it's not just the feeding. Cats and other animals can get themselves into trouble sometimes. So we don't necessarily advise that people leave pets alone for very extended periods.
Right, of course. But cats, sometimes, people can be gone a day or two. And since they have the automatic feeding with the Wireless Whiskers, right, and they have their litter box, cats are usually okay, maybe a day or two. Dogs no, but right, cats, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's absolutely no problem doing that.
And what other interesting things have you had from people that have used Wireless Whiskers? Any diet stories? Any cats coming, from being, chubby to svelte?
Yeah, we have a lot of veterinarians recommend this product because it has the ability to decide which pets can eat at the feeder or not. You can set up a separate feeder with a prescription food in. So a lot of particularly elderly cats and dogs, they're on prescription diets for various ailments that they have, and you're able to set the feeder up so that only your cat that has a prescription can feed from that particular feeder. And then if you have other cats and a dog, you can set up separate feed stations for them, so you can independently control it so the pets get the right type of food and, in fact, the right amount of food. So that's something we're finding the veterinarians are liking, and that it really is the only solution that's available on the market today.
Now, the piece that Dennis had on his collar that transmitted to the Wireless Whisker, the main station, he didn't have any problem with it. But what if something happens to that piece? Can you get a replacement?
Yes, they're actually available in 4 different colors, but the color doesn't actually identify the product. There's actually a little chip inside that's a wireless chip, and each of those chips has a billion different codes. So you can basically buy a little tag that suits the color of your pet and put it on, and don't worry, you can use that at any feeder. The tags don't have any batteries, so there's no maintenance there, and they're completely waterproof, so you can drop them in water and there is no problem.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, I think you did a pretty good job describing everything. You did great. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you might want to mention besides where, people can find it and so forth?
Yes, I think the thing that I would highlight that's different about this feeder is the ability to control multiple pet households, and basically so that you can set up a situation where everybody gets the right type of food. It also does a good job in controlling some behavioral problems. For example, some pets will eat until they throw up, and so what you want to be able to do is to spread their feeding throughout the day, so that the feeder has a number of different portion control programs that allow you to divide the daily allowance in up to 24 small little portions, and then it will distribute those portions out very slowly during the day so that the cats or the dogs can't eat too much and have that problem with gorging and vomiting.
So besides controlling weight, with the access control, you can also control the behaviors. So over time, if say if the cat was at a friend's or moved, or you didn't have access to the wireless whiskers for a couple days or something, that behavior might be eventually controlled.
Well, yes, when they're using the feeder, they don't have to learn to control it. The feeder will impose that behavior on them. So, because basically it only distributes, for example, 1/24 of its allowance every hour, and so it's impossible for them to gorge their food, and that is quite a frequent problem with cats that tend to gorge and vomit.
It's a great idea, and it's great that it's able to control the behavior that well. Just fantastic idea. Now, have you noticed or have you had a chance to observe cats that gorge if they, over time, with the behavioral methods set up to smaller portions, that they automatically eat less, or they tend to go back to their old behaviors, so you really need to keep them on wireless whiskers so they don't go back to the previous behavior?
Yeah, there's really no reason to stop feeding them with the wireless whiskers feeder, so that they can't go back to the same behavior. So we've never seen a case of the feeder being taken away and to try to observe their behavior, because in fact there's no reason to take the feed away, because one of the things that it does once you have it set up, and since it's so automatic, is it's actually quite a time saver for the owners. And so we actually have quite a few owners that have really become reliant on that, and it stops their pets from interrupting their sleep during the nighttime by controlling the schedule, and it pretty much takes the owner out of the loop of feeding the cat and sort of changes the relationships between the pets and owners, because no longer do they see the owner as the source of food, but rather the feeder. So it's quite a unique situation.
That's a great point. And what also I thought about is I know that animals are creatures of habit and they like to eat at certain times. My cat, my dog, they will come and get me at that time and want to eat. So what I see, another great feature of the wireless whisker, that you kind of mentioned, is that what if you're held up? What if you're at work and you're not going to be there at 6 when they get fed, you're running late, you won't be there till 8. This way, they eat at the right time, which is probably better for their behavior, for their digestive system. And I could just see a whole wealth of, benefits with the wireless whiskers on the fact that it helps the animals be consistent in their eating times.
Right. It's quite unique in that the traditional feeders tend to give a portion of food at a fixed time of the day, whereas the wireless whiskers works very differently from that. It actually allows the pet to eat whenever it wants, but it limits the amount that it can eat given the time of the day. So with a portion control setting, for example, for the first 6 hours of the day, which is a quarter of a day, it can only eat up to a quarter of its food allowance. And then once half the day is done, it can eat up to half of its food allowance. So you actually allow your pet to eat whenever it wants, and it cannot exceed the right amount, so that by the end of the day that it eats is exact 100% of its allowance. And one of the other things that the portion control feature will do as well is it allows you to cut off feeding during the night hours, because some people prefer not to feed their pets through the evening, and also some people prefer certain periods during the day when they don't want to feed the pets, and you can adjust an 8-hour interval during the day when you don't want your pets to feed. So that's another nice flexibility and control of the animal eating behavior.
So forget the other feeders. This is kind of like whatever you thought about the standard feeders, up several notches and more benefits, which is even better for all of our as pet parents out there, because look at all the problems you can solve and how much it makes your life easier. It makes your pets healthier, which in turn makes your life easier. So how great is that?
Right, exactly. It really has unique capabilities that other feeders don't have, and it's really redefining the way people feed their pets. You don't have to worry about measuring out cups anymore or portion sizes or anything like that. The feeder does it automatically, measures how much they eat, it sets the allowance, it takes care of them and spreads it so that they can't gorge during the day, and it makes sure that only certain pets can eat at only certain feeders. So, it is very unique in that aspect.
I have a little story for all the pet lovers out there and pet parents that are listening. A good friend has a dog, and he's Jack Russell mix, so he's a little chubby. And whenever she goes on vacation, she always has distinct, he gets this portion, but only a little bit this time. And it's easy for her because she knows exactly what to feed. But for the pet sitters, they're not always exact. So he usually ends up gaining, half a pound every time she goes away. So she needs this wireless whiskers, even though, he's a little dog, so he'd fit the requirement. But yes, because when most vets, like you said, when they need to, you need to have your animal reduced. They say take the same amount, but since they're maybe used to eating several times a day, you reduce it, but just split it up, because that's the best way to feed anyways, not them to gulp a whole bunch at once. I know there's different schools of thought. Some people feed once a day. I feed twice. They usually say it's better to feed a smaller amount a couple times a day than do a big amount at one time. What have you heard?
Well, right. I think most vets will tell you that having your pets graze rather than gulp their food all in one go is definitely a more healthy way to go. And that certainly is a good feature of this feeder.
So, Steve, where can people find Wireless Whiskers?
Well, it's available on Amazon.com, and we're selling it also on our website, wirelesswhiskers.com. We actually have quite a lot of international sales as well. We don't have any distribution overseas, but we do sell it from the U.S. and ship it to now to over 25 different countries. So we're getting our name out there.
Okay, wonderful. I'd like to thank my guest, Steve Whelan, for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling us all about Wireless Whiskers. What a great product for, diet control for multiple household pets, like multiple cats, and for, helping with cats with eating behavior issues. What a great product. As always, you can find out more on PetLifeRadio.com. Look for the Best Bets for Pets listing to the left and look for this show, and there'll be more information and a link to the website and a blurb about the product. I'd like to thank Mark Winter for making me and my guests sound great, and for Dennis, the cat, and Nikki, the little dog, that tested Wireless Whisker and had a great time testing it. And I think Dennis lost a couple of ounces, which is good because he's a little bit of a fat cat. So good job, Dennis. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back with another show.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back, right after we kibble a little with our sponsors.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Active for Pets is a new wellness platform and app that helps pet parents save time and money on their vet bills. Stop paying for unnecessary vet treatments. Consult with the vet online. Get unlimited access to your pet's entire health history from any computer or smartphone with the Active for Pets app. Vaccinations, medications, test results, and more. Active for Pets gives you access to a team of expert vets for non-emergency care. Make an appointment before, during, or after office hours. Skip the waiting room and get a secure online vet consult on your schedule. Taking care of your pets is as easy as it gets with Active for Pets. Ready to try Active for Pets? Listeners get 40% off a one-year membership. To get this great offer, use promo code PETLIFE on the sign-up page of active4pets.com. That's ACTIV, the number 4, PETS.com. Or call 888-512-2848.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Michelle Fern, host of Best Bets for Pets on Pet Life Radio. Okay, today's show is all about quality, glamour, and gorgeous, fun. What am I talking about, right? Okay, this is where I hook you in. I'd like to introduce Hannah Rosenberg. She is the Research and Design Manager for Kathy Ireland Loved Ones. Welcome, Hannah.
Hi, everybody. Nice to be here with you.
So, Hannah, everyone that's listening is thinking, okay, glamour, quality, a mystique, something beautiful for our fur pets. Now, there's a lot of, nice stuff out there, but glamour and all this. Now, we're talking about Kathy Ireland. And for those that do not know, she is a gorgeous businesswoman who had a past life as a very successful supermodel. And she has now created a fantastic line of pet products called Kathy Ireland Loved Ones. So tell us a little bit about how that came about, Hannah.
So Kathy is so lovely and so fantastic, and she considers her pets to be part of the family, right? And she treats them not as pets that she owns, but she considers her a parent or a guardian to them. And so, of course, she's developed so many products for all different ranges of things, from furniture to clothing. Of course, why wouldn't she help to create products that benefit her fur kids, right? Her four-footed children. So she took her style and aesthetic and applied it to wonderful products that we helped her create and develop.
Now, this is not her first venture, because she also created a line called Gracie and Delilah, I think, first, right?
Two lines happen concurrently. So the Loved Ones is what I call like the everyday line, and Gracie and Delilah is where the luxe lives, right? That's where it's not that the Loved Ones doesn't have style, but it's where you find a little bit touches of glamour, the quilting, the metallic accents, feathers, it's black and ivory, and so that's where you see a little bit of bling.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit, just to mention for people that are listening going, I hear Loved Ones, Gracie and Delilah,
Yep.
What is this?
Correct.
Gracie and Delilah, that has a interesting background. So how did that come about?
Yes, so Kathy and Elizabeth Taylor were very close. And I believe, and I'm paraphrasing here, but I believe that Elizabeth Taylor was Kathy's mentor. And so when Elizabeth Taylor died, she bequeathed her dogs, Gracie and Delilah, to be cared for by Kathy Ireland and her family.
That's just so nice, so special.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the Gracie and Delilah line is just, like you said, a little bit more opulent and glamour and bling and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back again to the Kathy Ireland Loved Ones. Now, how did Worldwise and Kathy Ireland get together to join forces on these Loved One products?
I think it was on a connection through a mutual colleague. I don't quite know the backstory, but it makes sense because, with Kathy Ireland's style and taste level and just, global exposure of her products that, so many people know and love, and Worldwise is, we are leaders in the pet industry and our expertise in the marketplace. It was just a marriage made in heaven. So, two moguls, I guess, combined make some really beautiful and powerful product.
Now, do you work with Kathy to help develop the products?
Oh, of course. She's involved in every step and sees every step of the process. So we start off with her style and brand aesthetic that she gives to us, giving direction of where she'd like the line to go. And then I want to back up a little bit, but she is mostly known, and one of her mission statements is to create solutions for families, especially busy moms, whether it's for the two-footed kids or the four-footed kids. The whole reason why the line is happening and has been created is because we want to find products that are not only beautiful but also provide solutions for the pet parent and the pet itself. And so from that, we look at what's in the marketplace and what are the questions that we ask and what we're trying to solve. Like, how do we make inactive cats move and get up and get exercise? Or how do we make the most durable toys or products for dogs that are strong chewers? And so in that, we ask ourselves these questions and we build an assortment, and she comes by with her aesthetic and style direction from herself and her team, and then we create beautiful, innovative product from not only that is beautiful, but it's also functional. And many of her styles are that we've created are patented because we're bringing new innovation to the market. We're not just a Me Too brand. We're not just putting Kathy Ireland's label on, an existing format. We're really actively trying to bring items that are gorgeous, that are home decor friendly, and also are solving problems for the pet parent and the pet itself.
Oh, that's fabulous. Now, can you tell a little bit about Kathy Ireland's background for people that are listening that might not, I know I gave a little hints of it, but might not know that besides, her supermodel career, she went on to create this huge business empire?
Yes. And I can't even begin to tell you how many products that she's involved in, but, I know it ranges from clothing to furniture to stationery, now pet products, it just goes on and on and on. And it's surprising how large her business extends and how many products. People really love what she creates.
Thank you for that. That was pretty informative. So people out there that listening and I think it's important to know too, there's so many brands where there's, a famous person's name on it. And there's a good amount of those where the people that, the famous person is involved. And there's a lot where it's just the name is stuck on and they might take a look at it, So it's really nice to hear how involved Kathy Ireland is.
Yeah, it's, part of our process, she trusts us as leaders in the pet industry to kind of know how to make the products. Like we're, as a company, WorldWise is, key on quality, making sure that all the products, and especially all of Kathy Ireland's products, but everything under the WorldWise umbrella is child safe. Because, a child doesn't know whether it's a pet toy or a child toy, right? So we're very conscious of that, and that's super important. And so we work with our knowledge and, combine it with her expertise in fashion and in her style and aesthetic. And so she gets to see and is involved in, like, what goes into the line, fabrics that are chosen, colors that are chosen. And so, step by step, she's involved.
How long does it take from start to finish, would you say, when, a design idea is put together till actually goes to the market?
It really varies on the product, right? Basic cat toys will take a shorter amount of time than furniture pieces or ceramics, so it varies. Hard to say, hard to put a finger on it, but it's not an immediate process. There's a lot of time and effort that's put into it.
And for everybody listening out there, where can people find Kathy Ireland Love One products as far as for purchasing, both internet, since we are worldwide, and maybe in the U.S.?
Yes. So the line launched last year, so you'll see the full, complete line on Amazon.com, to see all, because it's not just cat and dog toys. We have bedding, we have furniture, there's leads and collars, feed and water products. So the full, complete line is on Amazon.com, and as we roll out the line to various stores, those will come later, but go to Amazon first.
Good idea. And what would you say is the price range for the dog and cat toys?
So for dog toys, the pricing ranges from $14.99 to $24.99, and they're super durable with lots of great features. It's not just a pretty toy. We have durable reinforced seams, squeakers, handy treat pockets. We have extra reinforced lining, so they're really substantial and beautifully made. And the cat toys have a lot of great features that attract cats to get them up and moving. We have launchers and lots of feathers and what we call dangly bits to help, ribbons and whatnot to help get the cats up and moving. And so they range from $6.99 to $8.99.
Okay, this is where everybody that's listening wants to hear about what the test crew did when they tried out the samples that were sent. Thank you. Yes, and this time the whole gang got involved. We had
How'd they go?
Yeah, we call the Dennis, he's the cat, the big cat. And then we have Nikki and Mr. Z. And they had a blast. Now,
awesome.
Because they're all brothers and they play with each other, sometimes they're not so interested in toys. But they had a great time. They had the dog toy, one that crinkles, was a big hit. They loved it.
Great.
There was, I think, a catnip toy. There was the one with the feathers. It got Dennis moving, which he needs because this is the cat that ate Manhattan. I mean, he's a muncher. I always thought cats were finicky. No.
It's a big problem, and that's why a lot of our toys, we have launchers that shoot across the room. All of them are filled with catnip. And we have wobblers, just things to kind of keep the cats up and moving.
Yeah, that is, with all of the toys, it got them all moving. I mean, Mr. Z has about 2.5 pounds to lose, even though he's kind of in his right weight, but he went up last time when he went to the vet. So, I like that it gets them moving. I like that I don't have to have a concern that they're going to chew it apart. I think they're made well, and they're nice to look at. They're not typical. They're just really gorgeous to look at. The fabric is nice. It's really pretty.
Thank you. It was really important because, again, using the aesthetic, the whole line is home decor friendly. We have beds, so, some of the dog beds are fairly big, right? And you don't want something that's hot pink or whatever, maybe you do, sitting in the middle of your room. So we really tried to have an aesthetic that will blend seamlessly into the home, not only for just the bedding, but for the dog and cat toys and to also our scratch furniture pieces. And so it hangs together so beautifully, and it got very well received when the line was launched.
And let's see, can you give us a little hint about what's coming up next for Kathy Ireland Loved Ones line?
I can't say too much because I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, excuse the pun. But we launched a small travel collection last year when the line came to be, and that we're now working on expanding that. So for those pets who travel with their pet parents, there might be some fun things coming down the pike in the future.
That's always good to know. So, in kind of wrapping everything up, if you think about it, what would you say sets apart Kathy Ireland Loved Ones and maybe the Worldwise connection than, say, other toys that are out there, cat toys, dog toys that are out there?
I think the important thing to take away about the brand and Loved Ones and the collaboration with Worldwise is that all of us put a lot of effort into making a line and a collection that really epitomizes the Loved Ones name. We love pets. We want to make sure that the product that we create for them and that we've created for Kathy is beautiful and durable and is safe. The child safety thing for our toys is huge, and not many of our competitors adhere to that. So that's a really important thing to note because we're not only watching out for our pets, but also the young kids that are playing on the floor near the pets. And so we want to make sure the line really epitomizes the Loved Ones name.
That's so nice. It just sounds so great. And I love the fact that it makes that you have a concern, to make the toys child safe, because kids, especially if they're little, don't know the difference between that's a doggy's toy, it's not your toy.
That's right.
And I've heard too many scary stories where a kid will go play with the doggy's toy and rip off the eye and decide to chew it or something.
Exactly.
Great idea. Tell everybody again who's listening, who's thinking, wow, I want to look at this line. I want to, maybe buy some great toys for my dog or my cat, my fur kid. Where can people find the Kathy Ireland Loved Ones line?
The full collection can be found at Amazon.com.
Okay, perfect. Hannah, thank you so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling us about Kathy Ireland's Loved Ones line.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time and the ability to speak and sing the line's praises. It's really near and dear to my heart. We had a lot of excitement to do it, and we're glad that it turned out so well.
Me too, because the crew loved it, and I think it's a gorgeous product and has a great, legacy behind it.
Yeah, yes. Thank you.
I'd like to thank my guest, Hannah Rosenberg, for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling us about the Kathy Ireland Loved Ones line that is at Worldwise. It's pet parents. This is a beautiful line and very functional. I kid you not, the test crew, the dentist, Nikki, Mr. Z had a blast. And the dentist did not rip apart the cat toys, which I was very happy about. The feathers are still intact on the little hanging toy where, they have to, it's like a fishing rod kind of toy, the favorite things for cats. Well, if it stood the dentist test, then that has something to say for it. And I would like to thank my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guest sound great. And of course, all the pet parents listening. Do you know we have about 750,000 people listening a week to this show? Wow, I had no idea. So thank you so much for listening. If you want to send in any comments or suggestions or questions, send them to Michelle at PetLifeRadio.com. Keep listening. We have a lot of exciting new things coming up.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.